Now your genuine love, respect. I truly appreciate your time to the genuine ones only. Have a safe day. Protect your energy because not everybody's having a good time. They say loyalty first. Now you're doing it all backwards. I can't trust you enough to have loyalty with you. It's the mindset for me. Let me see if I can respect you first. You know, respect's a two-way street. So how we gonna skip to loyalty first? Now it goes backwards. I can't trust you, so I can't have you around me. It's the mindset for me. I say respect first, then loyalty. That's earned. That's not given. It's the mindset for me. Allow me to see how I want to move my way around you at the end of the day and stay in my lane when it comes to you so I know how to deal with you. It's the mindset for me. Give me the time within to go within to acknowledge myself as a human being, to respect myself, to respect my neighbor. So I know my neighbor don't got malicious intentions. It's a thought process for me. So when I say respect, that goes a long way. It's a two-way street. If it's one-sided, it would never make sense. It's the thought process for me. You know, respecting yourself is to respect your neighbor, but then you can't get in tune with that if you don't know yourself, to have self-awareness, and all you are to yourself is a hate in disguise. Because you hate on an innocent person who's trying to elevate. It's the mindset for me. Going against your neighbor was not part of God's plan. Uplifting your neighbor, uplifting yourself to inspire y'all both at the same time. You know, when you pray together, not against each other, is the mindset for me. God says, stop the violence. What's up with you today? It's the mindset for me. How you trying to reevaluate your thought process and say to yourself is, it was never part of God's plan to go against your neighbor. It was part of the enemy's plan. God installed self-patience, self-awareness, self-healing, self-respect, self-peace, self-control, self-discipline, self-confidence, self-care, self-value, self-love, self-worth, and healthy boundaries, and healthy balance, so we could become our best self-vision of ourselves. It wasn't part of God's plan to go back and forth with our neighbor with words, to exchange words with one another, for it to break out into a situation where everybody's reevaluating their thought process, because everybody just lost something. And it was not one-sided. Stop the violence. Where's the peace? It's the mindset for me. Yeah, we live in a cold, cold world, but to go against each other? Make it make sense, ma'am, sir. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a community to respect each other, to have peace within. To understand that we can walk down a block to have peace with our neighbor and know that when I walk into the store, I don't have to worry about my neighbor trying to psych me on my thought process, on my freedom, on my eyesight, on my pockets, to manipulate my character something I'm truly not, to paint a description to that narrative as to who they think I am, when that's not who I truly am. And I just want to elevate and become my best self-vision, to walk from point A to Z and knowing that I'm safe and at peace. And not only that I'm at peace, but my neighbor's okay too, to be at peace, to walk these streets. And it's a two-way street, because we respect each other, to understand each other. But when it's one-sided, it's not gonna make sense. God didn't say go against each other. God says love each other, respect each other, understand that going against each other wasn't part of God's plan. It was the enemy. God said the enemy don't live here today. Understand and acknowledge each other in a healthy way. Just because you don't understand the tone of somebody's voice today, it may sound a little aggressive at the end of the day. They don't mean no harm. They're not trying to go back and forth with you. They just said, excuse me. They just said good day. They said no thank you. Sorry for your misinterpretive as to how you allowing it to digest through your ears. It's the mindset for me, how we overlook one another instead of respecting one another. You know, when it comes to communication, it doesn't matter what kind of order it is, down to consumer, down to a loved one, down to just respecting your neighbor. Just respect your neighbor. It's a two-way street. How can you understand somebody if you don't respect them? How could you understand somebody if you don't trust them? It's the mindset for me. You know, you get it confused, and then it becomes an abuse. You see how long this shit going on? For too long. I said what I said. Excuse my French. But when is it gonna stop being misunderstood? And understand the assignment within the assignment, that it wasn't part of God's plan to go against your neighbor. And I say that respectfully. This is only God allowing me to show you at the end of the day why I go against your neighbor. Stop the violence. And mean what you say what you mean. Why you want to sit next to your neighbor and have a conversation with your neighbor one day, wake up the next day, go to that same spot, have a conversation with your neighbor the next day. Your neighbor not playing too nice today. They just sat there to line you up, just like you out your thought process, lining your freedom in your pockets, because they had bad intentions. It's the mindset for me, how we project this narrative on somebody's life and you don't even know them, and we quick to judge somebody's book by its cover. You could be sitting next to a neighbor and they could be so genuine and true and respect you for who you truly are and don't have malicious intentions. But then sometimes those are the ones who always get overlooked because someone's always pointing a finger. It's the mindset for me. How could we respect each other, to understand each other? Please, someone, make it make sense, please. Let's be at peace with each other. We don't gotta like each other. We don't have to sleep with each other. It's two different things. You don't gotta go home to somebody at the end of the day to respect them. Respect your neighbor to know at the end of the day they're able to walk from point A to Z safe. And they don't have to have malicious intentions being brought upon them when they at work. Or whatever you put a name to your book, your diary of your book of your day. You tell me where you at. It's the mindset for me. Because it don't matter where you at the end of the day. When something just all of a sudden just happens and your neighbor went against you and you didn't even have malicious intentions. It's the mindset for me. Stop the violence. Stop the violence. That wasn't part of God's plan, and that wasn't part of God's timing. And I say that respectfully. God said, respect, peace, love, hope, and believe. You walk by faith, not by sight. Respecting yourself is to respect your neighbor. If your neighbor can't respect you, just continue to stay in your lane and elevate. It's okay that your neighbor doesn't understand that you're respecting them and that you don't have to go back and forth with words to exchange with them, because they can't go within and do the inner healing because something is wrong with them today. But they don't understand that whatever's going on within them has nothing to do with you, but you can still respect your neighbor on a good and bad day, as long as they don't have malicious intentions to bring harm towards your way. Being a hater in disguise, that should be a crime. Be a hater in disguise, it's not attractive at all, respectfully. Because becoming a hater in disguise, now you got malicious intentions. Is the mindset for me. And then how you sit there and play somebody close. Wow, so close. Spell work. Psyching out their thought process. Having third-party conversations about someone, an innocent person that had true good intentions when it came to you. They wasn't one-sided. You know, when you take someone's kindness for weakness, the real one, the genuine one that was true and real to you, it's the mindset for me. Being jealous of somebody and having envious energy can turn into something that's not so healthy at the end of the day. But when you only playing in your own face, when you come across the right one, just reevaluate your thought process. Leave innocent people alone. It's the mindset for me. God said respect your neighbor. And excuse my French, but God said it's okay today. I made my point across. God said there are better days ahead. Going against your neighbor at the end of the day, what's the actual point? Like, what's the point? All you doing is hurting yourself. And guess what? Judgment Day's been here. Judgment Day's been here. It's the thought process for me. God said, get it together. God said, get it together, for real, for real. It's not looking good. You're going against your neighbor, got malicious intentions, the enemy trying to psych you out your thought process today. To go against your neighbor. Stop going against your neighbor. That wasn't part of God's plan. God is good. Now you genuine love, respect. I should appreciate your time to the genuine ones only. Have a safe day, have a safe week. It's the thought process for me. Now you genuine love, respect. Later.